Hey everyone, Chris Russell here. Time for another job board secret interview session where we talk to some industry job board professionals out there. Look us up on YouTube or learn more at jobboardsecrets.com. Today I am joined by the CEO of Circa, formerly known as LocalJobNetwork, a company which operates 600 plus local job sites online, as well as offering some diversity recruiting products. They are headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Today I'm joined by Patrick Sheahan. Patrick, how you doing today?
I'm great, Chris. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so you've been the CEO for about 14 months now, you're telling me. But give the viewers out there a quick history of the business of Circa. I think it started around 1994, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a 25-year history since the business was founded by a technology entrepreneur by the name of Scott Molitor. Scott's remained sort of an active shareholder and board member of the business, but sold the company after a number of years of success running localized job boards, niche job boards throughout the country, but then really pivoted the business kind of in the mid 2005, 2007 timeframe to focus on leveraging the same job posting and distribution technology that was used to scrape applicant tracking systems, career pages, et cetera, to populate our job boards, and to apply that same tech stack to OFCCP job distribution. And that, quite frankly, has been much more central to the story of LocalJobNetwork and now Circa. And today, we believe that we're the largest provider of OFCCP compliance solutions in the country.
Yeah. Can you explain what that is for the viewers out there? What is OCCP compliance?
Yeah, so OFCCP, which is a term that I'd never heard of prior to joining the company, stands for the Office of Federal Contractor Compliance Programs. It's a division of the Department of Labor that oversees federal government contractors and their compliance with certain regulations like VEVRA to ensure that federal government contractors are giving job opportunities to veterans, persons of color, disabled, et cetera. So that's where companies have to have things like an affirmative action plan and then demonstrate their outreach to those segments of our population via job distribution. So what we do is we have subscription relationships with federal government contractors where we're providing their job distribution to the state unemployment websites. We call them ESDS sites, and we do that on behalf of nearly 4,000 government contractors today that we count as customers.
Gotcha. Okay. So your main customer then is more of a government contractor type of employer. Is that correct?
Yeah. So while we've got a rich history in localized job boards like MilwaukeeJobs.com or as an example, today the legacy job board business is roughly 10% of our overall business. The vast majority of our revenues come from the OFCCP compliance and diversity recruitment solutions. And that's really what the OFCCP is about, is to try and help businesses be more diverse. And, we really embrace that as a business after I joined the company, and it was part of our genesis of the Circa name and the Circa name, the brand change, and our mission change to be much more purpose-led. And so, we relaunched the business just a few weeks ago as Circa, and that our mission is, we believe diverse teams have the power to transform business. And so what we're endeavoring to do is never lose sight of sort of the legacy of the traditional job board business, but really focus on how do we help businesses, small, medium, and large, with their recruitment initiatives, in particular their diversity recruitment. And that's really the go-forward focus of the business.
Yeah, I mean, diversity is something that's probably at its height right now because of everything that's happened this year. So it's a good time to have a diversity recruiting business, I think, overall. In fact, I'm having the Diversity Tech Expo next month, which I'm going to mention you guys in, of course. But what's the response been like this year? I mean, are you seeing a kind of an upswell of clients contacting you about these diversity solutions out there?
Yeah, so clearly the name change, the mission change was timely and relevant. I'm happy to say that we began working on this really in the early fourth, late third quarter of last year. It's something that we really believe in our business, and felt like we were underwhelming in terms of how we were communicating that to the market. And so, fast forward to sort of the societal upheaval that we've seen over the last number of months. It's clearly timely, it's relevant. When we announced our name change and introduced it 3 weeks ago, we had a diversity symposium with some great outside speakers, and we had well over 1,000 participants to that symposium. There's great interest. I would say we need to continue to invest in our product to make it much more successful in helping companies build diverse teams. And we're being somewhat transparent in our product roadmap and the direction we're taking. Clearly, our focus right now is growing share in the OFCCP world. But I'd say there is a tremendous amount of discussion. There's a tremendous amount of interest. That being said, I think HR budgets typically are set at the beginning of years, calendar years. Coupled with the COVID crisis, there's budget constraints. Clearly, many industries have seen significant upheaval in terms of job loss. So there was some disruption, I would say, to kind of the legacy job board business and the willingness for kind of SMBs to invest in additional talent acquisition software solutions. And that's okay. We think having a dialogue, making awareness is positioning us well as we recover as a country, both economically as well as individuals and human beings. So we think we're well positioned to really, capitalize on the idea that diversity is no longer a priority or a program. It's much more of a strategy, and we have to do business with a diverse team. Yeah. And I think the legacy diversity initiatives that we saw were very much check the box initiatives, where there was a fair amount of lip service by employers. And we see that as a sea change, and that it's no longer a check the box initiative. It's very much one where we have to change not only how we recruit, but we have to change how we manage. And in fact, I just had a conversation this morning with my chief people officer, where we were talking about kind of the training that our managers need as we endeavor to create a more diverse team internally, and that performance expectations need to change, but we shouldn't catch ourselves talking about that they need to be lowered. They just need to be different, and reset expectations about and embrace what having a diverse team really means as an organization, and that the traditional performance criteria might not be relevant any longer. So there's a lot of change going on in the world, and I think what an exciting time to be running a software company that's helping companies build diverse teams. Yeah. So I'm expecting a fair amount of investment over the next number of years at Circa.
Nice. Could you dive deeper a little bit on your diversity products itself? I see you have some kind of diversity outreach dashboard. You've got a partner network of 1,700 community organizations. Tell me more about some of that stuff.
Yeah. So, having a diversity product is not new for Circa. Diversity outreach has long been a byproduct of our OFCCP compliance. What we did prior to my arrival in the business in 2019, Circa, also known as LocalJobNetwork, reintroduced to the market the diversity product for non-federal government contractors. And really what it is an outreach management product where talent acquisition professionals can create relationships with a roster of community partners via linkage agents. So, based on their wants and needs of the type of demographic, the type of skill set, the region, they can create one-to-one relationships with these community partners that represent, those individuals that come from more diverse backgrounds, to help fill their pipeline for talent acquisition. That's what the product is today. Clearly, there's reporting, there's a dashboard where we track performance. There's some level of integration to applicant tracking systems and the like. But I think it's for us, the product really needs to grow to drive greater talent flow, greater efficacy, and then as from what we envision is to really leverage more programmatic, the use of AI, which is not central to what we do today, and further embedding ourselves into the SMBs with helping them create their own diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So one of the things that we did as a business, we asked one of our senior HR leaders to take on DEI for our business and create a DEI strategy for our own company, which we launched about 4 weeks ago ourselves. And the intention there was to not only build our own team to be more diverse internally, but then also take the lessons that we've learned, the training that we've created, the tools and templates, the analytics, the benchmarking, and encapsulate that in a way where we can commercialize that for other SMBs. So as we think about product roadmap, ultimately our roadmap will be in concert with our mission, which, as I said, is to help companies build more diverse teams.
Yeah. You're probably the only business in the industry that has 600 job boards live. I'm just curious from a technical standpoint, is it all under one platform in terms of managing it all?
It is. Yeah, it is. And I can't lay claim to that. I mean, that was really the vision of our company founder, and continue to be owned by our technology leader. I got a great VP of technology, and a pretty robust, efficient team domestically that manages those. But yes, it's a standard platform where we could spin up another 600 job boards if we so choose to. I don't think we would. I would actually say that as we evaluate the long-term strategy of our job board business, we're evaluating reducing those number of job boards to where it's a little bit easier to manage.
A lot of domain renews every year.
There's a lot of domain reviews, and I often say, like, it's not black hat, but the world of search, be it Google or Chrome or Safari, whatever you're using today, it's a black box, and it's always changing. And I think you need to be really good at that to remain successful over the long haul. And when the idea of having localized job boards that were somewhat templated, the business has gotten, the world's gotten a heck of a lot more smarter about how to be successful in search, and the competitive landscape is a tough one. I don't know that I'd give it advice to someone to create a niche job board today. The world is a competitive one, and I think when I said that it's roughly 10% of our business today, I think that statement stands on its own. We believe, particularly in 4 or 5 geographies where we continue to have really good traffic and really good brand recognition, that we're going to continue to win in those markets and support those markets. But if I look 5 years out, I'm going to be much prouder of the growth, market share gains, the product development that we have with our diversity solution or compliance solution, as opposed to our job board solutions.
Yep. And so you mentioned MilwaukeeJobs.com was one of those. What are some of the other sort of premier?
Jobs in Minneapolis, MadisonJobs.com. Those are probably the largest. DCJobs.com continues to be a pretty strong website for us as well.
Cool. And so you also, this in the last few weeks, you made an acquisition. You acquired America's Job Exchange. So I'm curious as to why and how that fits into your company's overall strategy right now.
Yeah, I mean, we believe that growth via M&A is an important part of our business strategy. That being said, I place a greater emphasis on organic growth, and customer acquisition is a key measure for us. We've had a tremendous amount of success in our OFCCP market in new customer acquisition over the last 3 to 5 years. But part of
set up. Sorry, Patrick. Tell everyone what is America's Job Exchange if they've never heard of it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. America's Job Exchange is a competitor of ours, direct competitor of ours in the OFCCP world. They also have a couple of diversity job boards, Veterans Job Exchange, Diversity Job Exchange, which will continue to run and operate as long as we feel like they're generating enough traffic and provide value to our customers. It was sort of an orphan, though, a non-core product line to a larger business called Navisite that was at one time owned by Time Warner Cable and Spectrum Communications, Charter Communications, and the Navisite parent company that owned America's Job Exchange was sold to a private equity fund. And as when I joined the company 14 months ago, we identified not only our competitive landscape of who did what we did in job boards and niche job boards, diversity recruitment, OFCCP compliance. And as part of my job, I'm trying to identify businesses that might make sense for us to acquire if we, one, could gain some product benefits, some service offering benefit, if it's a market share acquisition, et cetera. And so we set out to cultivate a relationship with the owners of America's Job Exchange some number of years ago, and that I continued on after I joined the business. And the reason that it fits in our overall strategy is, we have to make kind of evaluations of, how quickly can we gain share. And, I believe the roughly 1,000 customers that they served, as sort of a non-core product line to a much larger business, we feel like we're going to better serve those customers as part of our business because it's what we do. And ultimately, I'm excited about the opportunity to help 1,000 new customers to Circa, help them build more diverse teams, because that's what they were contracting with America's Job Exchange. And as part of our solution, we feel like we're going to better serve them. And so, we're excited about the strategy. You think the business, the America's Job Exchange name will go away. It will become Circa. And the customers on the AJE platform, we expect to migrate them to the Circa platform by the end of the year. So it's something that we're working on intently today. It's interesting enough, America's Job Exchange, some number of years ago, actually founded the America's Job Bank, and they had the job board that was funded by the U.S. government for veterans, the disabled, persons of color, that federal government contractors would post their jobs to. And I think, I can't remember which, I think it was the Bush administration, they defunded America's Job Bank, and the responsibility for posting those jobs went to all of these localized job boards in the 50 states and District of Columbia and such. Yeah.
Interesting. Thanks for the history there.
Yeah.
As we wrap things up, how big is your team there at Circa right now?
Yeah, we're growing. Right now, about 140. We added about 15 employees with America's Job Exchange. So it's somewhere between 140 and 150 people. We got a bunch of openings. We're hiring in sales. We've got a very large sales organization, kind of around 50 people. We're also hiring some programmers, some technology folks in concert with the investment we're making in our product roadmap. Headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, although we've, one of the benefits of COVID, we were really well prepared to work virtually. We went virtual right away. We had happened to be actually migrating to Teams, and the COVID put a fast forward on that process. We went live on Teams in our first week of working 100% remotely. And so we're all remote. We're hiring throughout the country. Hired a number of salespeople from Chicago that were former Career Builder people. And we've got some salespeople on the East Coast, as well as Minnesota. So we're very open to hiring remotely. In fact, salespeople from America's Job Exchange are now fully integrated into our sales organization, and we're excited about that. So they're in Boston. That being said, I don't know if it was the unwise or wise. I still think it was a good decision. We made the decision to remodel 20,000 square feet of office space earlier this year, and I am really excited to move into our new space. It's much more emblematic of the Circa brand and what we're trying to achieve as a high growth software business. So we're moving into new space. I don't think everybody's going to be there. I might be the only one in 2020, but clearly we do believe that having space that we can call our home and our office is important to our business. It might not just look like the space of how we worked 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah. You think it moved to more of a hybrid system where, a few days in the office, a few days in the
home? I do. I think at least in the near term, if anything, we as business leaders have to be fluid and adjust. And so clearly we're being much more open and amenable. We're in no rush to go back to the office. That being said, we do have we've got a younger team of what we call SDRs, so sales development reps that are doing outbound calling for top of funnel demand generation. And some of those folks we brought back into the office, about 10 to 12, just because we felt like they needed a little bit more day-to-day mentoring and the idea of learning from their peers that is a little bit easier to be facilitated in person. So we've got maybe a dozen people in the office today. But there's no strong desire to bring big numbers back.
You said they're calling. Does calling still work, Patrick?
Yeah. Cold calling works.
Works,
It's a real thing. And I think what we've tried to do, it's a tough thing to hire for. Not a lot of people want to do it. But calling works, and for those that don't believe that, I'm sure I could provide to you plenty of cases where it does. Sales is a real skill, and one of the cultural elements that we tried to introduce to Circa was that we should be proud that we know how to build salespeople. And what we've tried to introduce is that the SDR role is an entry point into our company, and that if you want a career in customer service, operations, marketing, sales, and sales being a producer or sales being a sales leader, you got to come in and learn the product, and you got to learn the market. And the SDR role, those are, I don't want to say high churn, but it should really be sort of a minimum 12, probably 18 to 24 month job at our company. And, come in, you work hard, and you learn the business, you learn the market, you build relationships, you gain skills. And the next thing you know, you're either a revenue producing salesperson, or you're an account manager dealing with, 400 accounts on an annual basis. So that's kind of how we look at it.
Nice. Well, Patrick, certainly appreciate the time today. Tell everyone where to go to learn more and also to apply too. So
that's great. I appreciate it. www.circaworks, CIRCAWORKS, circaworks.com. I appreciate it, Chris. I look forward to continuing to connect with you. Thanks for the help and support.
Definitely keep us in the loop, and great to talk to you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Take care.